Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today I'm in the French AMX 30, the premium one, and I want to gain some civil lines and especially some RP to actually get the chart 25T. This episode could be named Dark Humor, and mostly because of we are playing at night, but then the sand is illuminated by sunlight because reasons. It might just be about to get, the sun might just get up there and just illuminates the area above, but you know, it's a bit weird lighting. So nevertheless, I spawned actually on the wrong spawn from my perspective, because I love to go for C. Now here I actually abandoned my team. Usually I recommend to stick together, but if the lemming train chooses the wrong direction for my own taste, then I don't think I have a good chance, a good impact in the gameplay. So while my team is moving up the hill to fight in close quarters on a large map and go into melee range, and most of the tanks go to A, I suspect most of the enemy tanks do so as well. The problem is going into B at the moment is not very well suited. Yes, I have one smoke launch, but I doubt that it's enough to fully cap and re-get the smoke launchers, to smoke them again, to recharge them again, and then to get out of there. I don't think that I have enough time. So I actually go into the open, and I actually can see here the first enemy on the open, and you can see it takes a while up until you stop and come to a halt, and I miss. Well, you see, that actually brings me to a comment from one of my subscribers from my tryhard video the day before that patch drop that I showed on patch day, and he was actually discouraged by my performance, saying something along the lines like, it was a German comment, so meaning wise I tried to translate it into English. So here I noticed where the fire came from. I blinded the enemy here with a few machine gun shots, and he didn't have the time to actually reload before I got into cover. Now, to give yourself the best amounts of cover and also a chance to abandon a stupid situation is always recommended. Again, here I thought this is a super Pershing thanks to the additional plating, and there it looks like an AMX, no, not an AMX, an M56 Scorpion, and we hull break him. We were unlucky to bounce, but lucky to hit actually one of the crew members, where then it splashed and initiated a hull break. So I see now enemies to my left. I know that there is something that looks like a super Pershing, and then there is something to my right, and I need to engage this guy on the right before. Maybe he doesn't really think about me engaging him so aggressively. So yeah, there is that, and I had here the benefit of shooting first and actually getting a nice crew knockout. So there is some more action going on, and now I waited up until he moves and I move as well. So it was a calculated risk, and I shot first, and again I create here a crew knockout, which was very lucky. So that was luck, but it was also a calculated risk, and it was always a 1 versus 1 situation, and I was confident in my performance. Now about the AMX 30, I think I can recommend it with the current performance. However, you also have to see, like with the BF109Z, it has nothing to fall back on if some game mechanics change. Like the BF109Z requires the performance of the 30mm to be absolutely monstrous and deadly. This has changed through several patches, back and forth, nerf and buff, the change of damage models and all those things. So if a machine like the BF109Z that has a very small margin of errors where you can actually play the plane, it has nothing to fall on, and the second allied teams actually know what they're doing, you're doomed in this premium. And so with this tank, when the heat shell post-penetration damage effect gets nerfed again because somebody is complaining on the forums or anything like this, well, you're left with nothing. So here we hide in the dark, and we can see the income 970 research points. Now there is another aspect of the research points. It's very difficult to find out how it's calculated, how it's added up, and there are some rumors going around for some soft capping. We'll have a decent look at the post-battle results after this battle, because it's certainly worth looking at. And you know, for civil lines it's all added up. But here for this tank, we just got 250. Yes, it was a light tank and it is lower battle rating, so maybe we get a bit less. Also, I didn't use any sort of boosters in this gameplay, and now I transfer from C to B. I make a beeline to B basically, and dark humor or bad jokes, whatever you want to call it. And the thing is, my team is doing here really well. And we have killed quite a few of the enemy's tanks, so there is a decent chance that now there is the time to cap B. Now back to this one subscriber that was discouraged actually from my performance, saying something along the lines like, seeing this gameplay performance and having to think about facing you in a battle and also having to face cheaters, I don't really feel like playing. Well, first of all, my videos are there to help you. They show you what I can do, and I'm not one of the best players out there. I mean, I'm decent, I'm good enough, I'd say. Some people think I'm really great, others think I'm garbage, you know, the internet. And I think when you see my gameplay, you see it from one player's perspective, with my opinion, my knowledge, my experience, and just my way of handling situations. And I think you have to really embrace that knowledge, and you just have to also watch other YouTubers, and you have to play the game for yourself. I just can give you some tips and tricks and some thoughts. To practice that is upon you. And why not just try out if you at some point go into a choke point where nobody can shoot you, but you hear enemy tanks, and find out how amazingly well that works. And here I shot just a split second too late. I was lucky to get into cover, hide behind the stone. And this is why I didn't want to hide here behind this ridge line. I'm not quite sure if that was the Type 61 or the Type 60 ATM. For the Type 60 ATM, the rate of fire was just... No, that's the ATGM variant. Sorry about this. So here, I just hide. And I see the plane. You can barely see it. Even I could barely see it. But, you know, again, my ears... My ears are perfectly trained from listening to death metal, but I am quite sure that those few machine gun bullets were not good enough to kill the F6F. So again, it was pure skill that I got awarded the kill for the other plane shooting down the F6F. Oh man, War Thunder's registration. I think Gaijin has to rework that as well. Here I launch smoke to actually cover my retreat into the capture zone. And yeah, then for a change I drive forwards again. So I observe here the capture zone, see where I came from, that gets currently captured, and I can see nothing. I can see absolutely nothing. I move a bit forward and bounce a shot. So that was obviously pure skill. Now I see the small outline of the tank, and we actually ammo-racked that poor Walker Bulldog, and now I try to move in there as well. And another one. And so let's see if this guy is actually capable of repairing his tank, because I actually damaged his cannon breech. Let's see if he embraces now the pure spirit of War Thunder, you know, what really matters in the game, having a repair kit, going for it, suffering through it. This is what you need to play the game. This is what I go out every day. God damn it, yeah, when I go home, you know, and tell my friends, you know what, now I'm having a good time. I'm not damaging an M103. Yes, this is what I play War Thunder for. Yes, to get damaged, not be able to repair my tank. This is what I really go for when I play War Thunder. Not really, but, you know, and now this M103 here is tunnel visioning. Yes, my shot was not perfect, but there was also some tree in the way, so my aim, where I possibly also could have shot, was a bit restricted. Now I do not really feel the need of catching a 120mm solid shot, but the the RE251 goes in like with Russian fashion, and now I hope that the M103 either got damaged or looks at the RE251 so that I can take out his gun breech and then finally finish him off. Another shot in, and now I see that the gun breech is actually out, and I get a kill assist. So let's see if this guy there had a repair kit and doesn't play War Thunder to the true fashion. Well, he had a gun breech. Oh man. Yeah, you know, I knew that this tank was there. I didn't forget about it, and I just saw him through the bush. The outline of the turret was visible for me. You see, I have a big screen and I'm playing on good resolution, and I'm used to it. And sometimes I'm blind and I don't see a tank that's right in front of me because I react differently, or I focus on a different distance on the screen, and this can happen. So there is that. So his gun breech is out, and that requires too much time to repair, and so I figured out, well, this turret shot might end it here, and this poor M46 is doomed. Yeah, and that's my 7th kill. So 6 tanks and 1 plane, and this will be now my 3rd capture zone. So you already can imagine that the result will be really, really great. And yeah, while I'm researching here the French Char 25T, I think I had fun. I had fun in the AMX 30, I have to admit it. I had some other epic battles, but this one is actually one that is decent to watch. As you see nothing. And yeah, it was a great experience. I want to have more of those battles where my tactical feeling matters, where it's not just a melee knife stabbing around the corner, which is really boring in city fights, and everybody goes to the very same position, where you can move freely across the battlefield, sneak around, and just have this epic feeling of that your movement matters, that there is a lot of tension. And in a usual battle, that's just not the case. So now we are moving in. There is just one enemy left, and I just saw him briefly on the minimap. There is the marker again. Let's see if I can do anything about it. And the wonderful thing about this heat is, where the MX-30 has a massive advantage over the Leopard, is the 1932 Tech Tree version versus the Leopard, is that it gets immediately the heat, which can do things like that. Hull break. I'm not quite sure if the APDS could do it. I remember the times when I shot Jagdtiger 128mm AP CBC rounds into the transmission, and they did nothing. Nevertheless, let's have a quick look at the post-battle results. And while we understand the calculation for the Silver Lines, where I got 1 aircraft and 7 tanks, 1 kill assist and 3 capture zones, please look at the capture zone income versus the tank kill income. We got 117,000 Silver Lines and 13,700 research points, which is a lot, including the Survivor and the Mission Maker, with multiple other awards stacked upon us. This is a battle that I don't have very often, to be honest, but I like the results and I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields and in the skies of War Thunder.